You told me right now you're somewhere in the south and enjoying a lot of sun.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm right now in Sardinia in Italy, and I'm working here for 3.5 months remote. And I'm really looking forward to our conversation. Yeah, so hello to Germany.
Thank you. I mean, I love remote work. I love it also with long haul commuting. Yeah. And in a past life, long time ago, I was flying around a lot and collecting a lot of miles, but it's not only environmentally bad, it's also, I think, really bad for your own health, right? Yeah. And not only the mentally health, but also the physically health, because if you have all this long travels and you have to switch, sometimes it's a kind of burden, especially if you have meetings the next day. So what I figured out recently after COVID, if you have a long haul travel and then stay there for a month, yeah, it serves two things. First, it saves you over time a lot of flights and also money, yeah, and a small contribution to the environmental agenda. Yeah, but also it's much better for relaxing, for making meetings, and for really calming down, and for the thought process, which is in our hectical world also very important. And what I really love is that with CHC, it's corporate health, right? So that is also a topic that is very important, and that I think goes with that. Maybe reduce the speed and concentrate on the real, very important things, right?
Yeah, I totally agree, Stephan. I had exactly the same situation before COVID started. In the year 2019, I was over 7 months on business trips, including holidays, including weekends, and all these things. So, but I was not at one place consistently, but I was every single week I was traveling. Every single week I was in the car over 15 hours on average. I was in overseas multiple times during the year. So basically, I had exactly this situation. I was jumping between time zones with 6 hours, 9 hours time difference for just 3 days or 5 days. And there was literally not really an opportunity for me to get accustomed to the new time zone or to the new schedule. So basically, I tried to sleep in the plane, or I tried to sleep in the train, depending on where I was and where I was going. And it literally, first of all, for me personally, for my health and for my mental well-being, let's call it this, it was devastating, because we are not built for this as a human body. But I totally agree what you just said when it comes to this productivity or efficiency aspect. So I started during this, over the last couple of years, basically, to travel for 1 month to Italy. Last year, I was here already 2.5 months. Now I'm here 3.5 months. And it is a completely different approach, because it's not, it doesn't feel like a business trip, or I don't view it like a business trip. It's more than I relocate for a certain time, and I live and stay there and also work from there, of course. But you have a completely different schedule, you have completely different opportunities, and of course, it is, in my opinion, a massive impact on the environment. Because on average, I was doing about 3,500 kilometers in my car every single month before COVID. And now I'm doing not even 300 per month on average. So I basically reduced the time in the car and traveling around in my car on 90%. And also with flying around with the planes, I had at least 10 to 15 trips with the plane within Europe every single year. And now I'm doing 1 per year. And the rest of this is basically doing remote meetings, using the tools, using the technology which is available. And this is basically something where I'm really, really glad that this happened, because I mean, that technology like Zoom or MS Teams or other tools like that, or WeChat and things like that. I mean, the technology we had already before COVID started. But especially in a lot of big corporations, in a lot of big companies, it was not accepted enough that you can do all these meetings remote. It was like it was always. You jump into a plane, fly there, have a meeting in person in the company, and even if it's just for 2 hours, and then you fly back. Yeah.
Right. And I think it's not only, I think it's also not only good for the body, it's also, as you said, because I really like the focus that then happens, right? And honestly, when we met first time, that is about 1 year ago. So when you approached me, and I'm pretty resistant when it comes to coaching, as you know. So I thought, oh my God, what does he really want? And does it really help me? Can it help me over time, right? And then we had the first call, and I was recording, and right after that recording, you said, oh, you come to the CHC Academy, and then you can do there a small speech. And I said, okay, why not? Let's go there. And when I was at the CHC Academy, I remember I was here sitting on fire because I had to catch my train to Frankfurt because I have a flight going away. All right. So, and that was really for me a kind of a signal, not that time. Yeah. But during the flight, I was thinking, oh, was it really worth it? It would be so good to stay longer at the CHC Academy and stay until the end and not rush away. And then you reflected, and that is something I really learned from you. So that calming down and this focusing is very good. And when I had the first time access to CHC Academy, actually the first 3 hours I spent watching, not in a row, but your 3-minute clips talking about, I think it was Sardinia, right?
Yeah, right.
So Sardinia. Right. And then I thought, wow, yeah. So, and I was really impressed about that.
Yeah.
And it didn't really fit to my lifestyle or to what I thought, right? But I was start thinking, right?
Yeah.
Over the time, yeah, I really enjoy the talks, and also your monthly updates. Whenever I have time, I go there and just listen in, or sometimes contribute a bit. So for me, that brought a lot. And then I started thinking about, okay, I could do similar, but I don't want to go to Sardinia, right? So I was really trying to reflect how that fits into our type of business.
Yeah. And
finally, we figured out we will look now for a second hub in Asia, right? And as you know, I was before COVID, I was all the time working in and with China. Yeah. I still work with China a lot, and I meet them whenever I can, because if you build long-term relationships, they're valuable. And I think you also have to value them for a kind of lifetime, right? Because that is how very strong relationships in business are built. But then we moved end of last year, and we decided we are looking at Hong Kong as a hub, because Hong Kong has a few advantages. And you see the background for today's meeting. I put there the Science and Technology Park in Hong Kong. It's a place which I really love most. And there's also where our innovation topic that we are featuring comes together with China, with Hong Kong, right? And then we are looking at the moment to build a second hub in Bangkok. Yeah, just for the reason not everyone can travel easily to China, right? And not everyone will travel, even if travel is very nice to Hong Kong, everyone really likes to be there. So what I figured out recently when I was there in February for an event at with some clients and with the Austrian, with Advantage Austria, with a WKÖ. What I figured out, you just have to tell the people, oh yeah, I'm here for about 3 weeks in Bangkok and we can meet. Yeah. You get filled up your weekend meetings. So it becomes busy, huh? Because you have to do 2 things. First, you take them out and show them a temple or some stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, then you have way too much to eat, but you can really work half a day, highly concentrated in the hotel. Just make sure you have a business lounge or whatever, or an empty cafeteria, which I figured out is probably the best. Yeah, because there's really no one there.
Yes.
When they have the breakfast, all you have to do is talk to the staff and explain them that you need this type of rooms. And so normally the second advantage of the cafeteria is not only that it's nearly empty in the afternoon, but also that there's always coffee.
Oh yeah.
And they have the coffee machine, and if you ask the staff nicely, they switch it on. So I think that is really what I try to. I wouldn't say it's not reinventing what you did in Sardinia, because it's not exactly the same model, but I think I try to do the same, and I'm sure a lot of people who are joining CHC Academy will have similar dreams and build then their own stories.
Yeah. Totally agreed. Yeah. So thank you for sharing this, and I'm really happy that it started this thinking process. What I talked about in the CHC Academy. So this is why, for example, I love the so much, because the mindset or the aspect when it comes to the mind is, in my opinion, so much advanced compared to us Europeans. Because when you look at the all these different cultures, when you look about all these different religions also, the mind has a very important aspect of all these different things. And this mental health or this mindset, or how we are dealing with this here, a lot of people in Europe are not really using it or thinking enough on how I can stimulate it, or how I can help myself and also my mental health. So the opportunity to work remote or to have other working structures, in my opinion, is one of the greatest opportunities for entrepreneurs. And I mean, I know Asia there are so many people who really want to strive and who really have great opportunities as entrepreneurs. And you mentioned the hub in Hong Kong. So all locations like this are meant to be used by entrepreneurs. So I don't recommend entrepreneurs to sit at home, be alone, don't have anybody to connect with, and probably don't have anybody to talk to. But entrepreneurs should use the opportunities to travel around, use hubs like this, go also to other places to experience new influences, get into contact with new people, get into contact with probably highly experienced entrepreneurs like you are, or also like we have in our CHC Academy, where we in the meantime have an international network of entrepreneurs who are all over the world. We have people from Asia, we have people from Africa, we have people from Europe in our CHC Academy, and they meet on a regular basis to exchange experiences, to exchange their thoughts, but also to get coaching and mentoring from me and also from other highly experienced entrepreneurs which have 10, 20 years, 30 years of business experience. Yeah.